This is where everything is headed.
Okay, so congratulations on season 3. Compared to seasons 1 and 2, how does season 3 feel different to you?
Well, season 3 is sort of been released from the shackles of needing to set out the circumstance, get you familiar with the characters, get you familiar with the rules, if you like. And this one, all of those elements of the story are sort of hardwired into it, so it can just take off, So it's more nakedly an action adventure story. It's more of a sort of space opera, if you like. There's a sort of fascinating story at the center of the galaxy, which is this sort of strange family that's imploding on itself. And then, of course, there's the appearance of this uber villain.
Yes, let's talk about, so the mule comes in and Pilu's obviously amazing, makes a splash immediately, but how does his presence shake things up for you?
Well, I mean, the mule changes everything. It completely realigns everything that's possible in the whole story. The only person who really properly appreciates that is Gale. To everybody else in the story, it comes as a complete surprise. So everyone else is caught with their pants down. Gale realizes that there's this massive threat that's looming that they need to get ahead of. And the other problem that they have is they're 100 and something years late in creating the second foundation, so they need to get that up to speed to be able to start correcting the timeline.
Yeah, and you're doing double duty this season. You're essentially playing 2 Harrys. So what was that like for you performance-wise?
I mean, it was a pitch that David gave me when before I signed on in season 1. It was that there was going to be these 2 versions of the character, which you saw that they existed in season 1. You didn't realize that there was the second version until the last episode in season 1. But he told that to me, and that was going to be something that they were going to develop, and that we had an idea of how we wanted to physically differentiate the 2 characters, and what the limits of each version of each character would be, what the challenges they'd be faced with, where he was trying to take the character so you could subvert the expectation of where that was going to go. So and it's fun. It was part of the fun, and trying through nuance and very subtle ways of you being able to see that they are very different versions of a character who made a choice, and at that point that they made this choice, they sort of forked out in completely different directions.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way that you talk about this show and this world. I'm just curious, as somebody that's been a part of so many amazing projects, like, what is the most satisfying or enriching thing about being part of Foundation for you?
I mean, I'm a fan, I'm a fan of science fiction. When those scripts arrive, when they're ready to share them with us, we get them all in one go, and we sit down, and, it's a page turner, and I devour the show in the way that the fans devour them when they watch them. I'm fascinated to see where the storylines are going to go, what twists are going to be, the denouement of certain things that they've set up. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, is there, you said as a lover of sci-fi, is there like a world that you haven't been a part of yet that you would love to dip your toe in at some point?
I mean, other than sci-fi?
Yeah.
I grew up watching, like World War II war movies and stuff like that, and my father loved westerns. So I've got a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for that. And I do love a really good sort of noir detective story as well. There's sort of like those old Humphrey Bogart, like The Thin Man or the Sam Spade stories. Those are just fantastic.
I love that you said that, because I think the reason I do what I do is because my dad took me to see Star Wars when I was 8. So I'm curious what that entry point movie was for you that he showed you.
The first movie I ever saw.
that he introduced you to, and you were like, oh
he
yes.
had all of John Wayne's one reelers. Every John Wayne movie that John Wayne ever made, he was absolute fanatic about John Wayne. The black and white silent ones he had, everything. And we'd sit down and watch those. And they had classics that they'd introduce us to. We'd sit down and watch Casablanca for the 20th time, and my mother had the same way. There was movies that she loved, like Kind Hearts and Coronets and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I love hearing that.
Because, you sit down and you chat to people nowadays, the younger generation, and, Star Wars is a classic to them. Jaws is a classic to them,
Jaws just 50, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate talking to you. Take care.
Let's see. Thank you.